Alright, we're back. Had to pause the video. Had some stuff lying around that didn't look good in the video. Mainly just some random covers stuff. Alright, so when I first had this going, I explained what this is. Apple pie moonshine. I'm not a big alcohol drinker because alcohol to me tastes like gravel. Tastes terrible. But if you're like me and you're a big flavor person, this is apple pie moonshine. Doesn't taste like gravel, doesn't taste like garbage. Tastes pretty good. But I would recommend every now and again shaking up your bottle, because as it settles and you get lower on it, it will get more and more stronger at the bottom and less evened out, because it will I'm looking for the word. All the strong stuff will go to the bottom. So if you shake it up, it'll disperse it evenly, so there's not more in one area. It'll make it a lot better to drink. Same with if you're like me and you have it in a glass and you don't just sip on it constantly and you let it sit there, shake it up every now and again. That'll remix everything. Make it to where it doesn't taste like you're drinking straight alcohol, because that is gross to me. Looking for tools. This is also something I was using, which is copper wire. I only used a few little bits of it. I would recommend, if you can, get something smaller than this. I'll put it up to the camera. Something smaller than that. Just where you could wrap it around the hook, twirl it off, not even have to grab pliers to cut it. Something thin, but something that would add a little bit of weight. Because what you're doing with this is making the flies sink. So that's your whole objective, is to make them sink a little bit below the top of the surface, and while they're there, just have them sit there. Best thing you could do is get you a bucket of water, like a 5-gallon bucket, or one of those clear totes, fill it full of water. And if you can, get something that would make it look like a river, like the water's moving. Get something that pushes the water that way, or whichever way you're going to be fishing. And then put your fly on that and see how it acts. Alright, I think my tools are not in there. So my tools are somewhere, just not anywhere that I think I've set them. And they're all right here. Okay, cool. I'm going to get these. Getting these. Alright, got all my tools in one spot now. Alright, it's a little brush. It's just simple little brush that you can see right there. Basically, once you get your fly finished on one part, so you got a feather right here. Say you got some crinkled down feathers, like flattened down, you'll take this You'll use it to spruce them back up. They'll stand right back up. You'll do that, straightens them out. It'll also get rid of loose materials that are not hanging on. It'll get rid of them. I got hair sticking out the back because I didn't pull my hair back, and that's in the video now. Anyways, then you got these things, which I got quite a few of them. They're called bobbin. I believe bobbin is the term for it. I got simple ones. I got this one. I got this one. If you're wanting silky smooth movement from your stuff, I'd say go with more one like this. But I will tell you now, every now and again you will have to readjust this little bar. At least that's what I've experienced. What I mean by that is if it feels too loose, you take and you squeeze them together and it'll shorten that distance. Then you'll just put it back on and it'll make it to where it's harder to pull it out, and it'll just sit there. So that's pretty good. With this one, I recommend holding it like this, where this part ain't pressed right here, because as this moves and you got this pushed into your hand, it might try to unscrew on you. But this one's pretty good. It's got like a little headpiece. I don't know what it's made out of. It's just made to where it won't cut your line while you're tying. And this one is like the very first bobbin I've had. It was out of the starter kit. It's just simple. 2 pieces of metal and a little pipe on the end that this goes through. And what I just knocked off, here's a whip finisher. Whip finisher is what you use to tie off your fly after you're done. This is to help you put dubbing on your fly. Dubbing is this material. So think of it kind of like just a piece of cotton that you took a brush and you brushed it out. You know how you get those fibers and stuff? It's that. That's about it. Then you got your actual I am having a brain fart. Fly vise. You got a fly vise. This one is a rotary vise, which just means you can loosen it here and it will spin around. You can do it that way. You can have it any way you want it. You can adjust it here, adjust right here. This will allow you to slide this piece this way or that way. I have it slid all the way up. The original band it came with dried out and broke, so I just bought a pack of rubber bands. This is one rubber band just wrapped around the bottom here, and that's all you gotta have basically. All it does is when I'm loosening, it opens up these jaws to where then I can tighten it and it'll clamp down on the hook. That's all this rubber band is to do. And if you don't have a rubber band, all you gotta do is hold these 2 pieces as you're undoing this, and that will open up. And you can place the hook. Then with these 2 fingers, clamp these closed and then tighten. Super simple. It's actually not that bad, but I have the rubber bands because I am lazy. And I don't want to do the extra work. Anyways, but yeah, that's about all the tools. But it is super simple to do. It is super easy. But it is expensive. Fly tying is a really expensive hobby. Materials, if you go for good materials, so a reputable source, people like them, they're not getting crap deals, shoddy work when they're purchasing it. The materials aren't damaged. The feathers are in good condition. Like stuff like that. If you want that, then you got to go for the higher priced ones. Because if you go for a lower price, there's tends to be a lot of messed up pieces, some other things going on with it. But yeah, it's super easy. The hard part is at first starting out, learning what pace to go at, knowing when to stop wrapping, stuff like that. But you'll get that within time. That'll come to you within time. All you're doing is, best way I can tell you this is all you're doing is you're trying to make a bug. Search up some pictures of bugs, print them out, keep them up above your little desk if you got a desk, or if you're sitting at your kitchen table, set them out beside you, look at your materials, match colors to what that bug is, and start doing your stuff. It's literally that simple. All you're doing is making a bug. And you ain't got to make it look as magnificent as the store-bought ones look. Because the thing is, fish will chase it. As long as it looks like a bug, they'll chase it. Trout are a lot smarter, so you gotta be a lot more mindful of how it looks. I ain't saying you gotta make it look 110% like a bug, but you gotta make it believable. Like at a distance, you could see it as a bug. Has same shape, same profile as a bug. Trout are very skittish little fish. They're also very delicate. So, some places, if you buy fly fishing rods, they'll give you a little starter set. And it's like a net. And sometimes they'll give you these little mesh gloves. Do not wear the gloves. What you're going to do is you're going to dip your hands into that lake before you ever touch that fish. And you're going to gently pick up that fish. You're going to slip that hook out because hopefully you're going to use non-barbed hooks. You're going to slip it out, let it go, or take a picture, then let it go, whatever you're going to do. Just be gentle with them. They are a delicate fish. You can't just, full on, like you would on any other fish. You will quite literally rocket man these fish. And that wouldn't be good. Trout can't really handle being rocket manned like a bluegill can, because I've seen bluegill go through some treatment and still come out kicking. So yeah, trout are they're not built for roughness, basically. they can handle the fight, they can handle that stuff. It's just putting your full force into setting that hook is probably not the greatest of ideas. Every time I watch my brother while he's fishing, he goes for that baseball swing. I swear I think some fish ain't got no lips anymore. But they ain't on the hook, so I don't think that's what happened. I think it just got away from them, but yeah. You know, the worst thing is when you think you got a big fish and you got to set that hook, and you set it, but you set it a little too good and you rip that fish out of the water where it was. That's just one of them moments. I caught a bass once. I'm trying to remember the little tackle I used because I was using a spinning reel. It was something bomber. It was just like one of them little crankbaits called something bomber. But this bass blew up on it, and instead of getting it in its mouth, it got hooked up right in here. I felt bad for that fish. I've had quite a few of those. I had a bluegill get onto my lure, and I don't even know how it got there. I was reeling in because I don't really pay attention when it gets to the bank. While it's out in the water or anything, I'll try and keep an eye out for it, see if it's coming up or see if there's a fish blowing up anywhere near it. But when I get to the bank, I'll just reel, pop it a little so it gets up above the rocks. Somehow, in the middle of that, I caught a bluegill. But I caught it at the very end of the back dorsal fin. But that was just like through the meaty part, so he wasn't damaged. He was able to swim away properly. He just went on about his business. So yeah, that's one thing I've come to worry about is catching fish I didn't mean to catch. But yeah, anyways, that will wrap up this video of talking about this. If y'all do go to get into this, there are vices worth $20, I believe, or they might be a little bit more than that, either in the 30 to 40 range, if it ain't 20. But they won't be rotaries, they'll just be stationary all the way through. But those are a good starter if y'all are wanting to get into fly tying. I highly recommend it. And again, if y'all ain't big alcohol drinkers, I'd recommend trying out the apple pie moonshine. I will say though, if you ain't careful and you take too big of a drink of it, it will take your breath away. Whew. Thank y'all for being here. I hope y'all have a good day and stay fancy out there.